Welcome, ladybirds, gentle pheasants, and non-binary canaries. This is another edition of Metroid Fusion Randomizer Tournament. We got OneSidedDysce versus kaederukaw4, which is very difficult to pronounce. So this should be a good race. I'm Jagger G, and with me is the great Pikmin ZX789. How's it going?
The one who is always constantly learning.
Yep. As all of us, to be fair. Even like the pro speedrunners and stuff watch like everyone else and learn a thing or two once in a while. So what do you think we're gonna start the seed off with? We got a few options.
Well, the more common one we've seen so far throughout this whole tournament so far is speed. But we've only had a few instances of missiles, and I think one instance of morph start so far. So I'm really hoping for a morph start, because that could lead to I'd say a much more interesting seed than a typical missile or speed start.
I've been told that morph starts are particularly trolly. I don't know if that's just like happenstance or it's just the way the logic orients items.
Who knows? In all fairness, we are still learning new things about this. So maybe it could be more ironed out in the future.
I guess one thing about the morph ball is it unlocks so many more things that I guess you could have pretty sparse progression early on.
Definitely. And it's default. It's still something. It's definitely not speed.
That's an additional five items in the next couple of minutes. Pretty quick checks. It's nice to get this out of the way early on. It's hard to route this in later.
And morph ball definitely has to be somewhere along the way, so it can't be just an oops or eating situation.
I've seen 4 E-tanks in a morph ball though, so.
Speaking of morph ball.
Yep, there we go. So starting off standard here, I do wonder if we'll get any double missile shots on these eye doors. It's pretty tough to do. Yeah, it looks like Katie didn't go for it. Dice is going for it. It looks like he got one. I'm not entirely sure, but that looked good to me.
We got a first beam very, very quickly. It definitely racks up some damage on the Arachnus very quickly.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is a big increase in damage output for them.
Oh, and Dice actually opting to skip Arachnus. Rather interesting. Probably banking on him not having anything of worth.
Yeah, that's not a bad play necessarily. Got just an energy tank on Arachnus. With the morph ball and the wave beam, I guess they're kind of playing the odds and saying, nah, that they're like counting cards, and they're like, nah, that's so unlikely that there'd be 3 items within a 5-item span.
Definitely.
And he's right today.
It definitely is a gamble, because we know that bosses can't have majors, all except for one, but even then, it's one specific item for one specific boss.
I know Ridley can't have charge beam or plasma beam. Other than that, most things are pretty fair game. But yeah, with the wave beam, it is surprising to see him skip it because that does increase how quickly you can defeat Arachnus.
It's wide, not waves, just a heads up.
Wide, sorry.
It doesn't help that they both start with the same letters, so.
Yeah, an awful one at that. So we got Sector 1, we got a divergence. We got Kaeda going down to Sector 2 and Dice going down to Sector 1 first.
It definitely doesn't hurt to split it off or just be rather indecisive about going to 1 or 2. Because 2 definitely unlocks more options when level 1 doors are unlocked. But you don't get that many options due to having a lack of bombs. Ooh, and that is a major locked away behind cargo room. We'll have to come back to that once the Ones find something they could cross over that room with. So
it is technically possible, but I think it's like a wall jump into a really tight wall jump into a frame perfect turnaround to actually damage boost across the Kago. So it's just not really worth going for in a race setting.
Fritz Lightning John also bringing up that Mega Coax can't have charge because it needs to be charge needs to be in Samus's inventory before it could be before the fight can activate.
That's the only thing that can damage the Mega X. Which is interesting because missiles are the only things that can damage the cores. Always found that weird.
Love appeared not to play this time around. Ice missiles in Sector 2's data room. So
That's good.
Katie could definitely check behind that major and cargo's room now.
Yeah, that's pretty fortunate. Not gonna have to backtrack here later on for that, but is opting out of it. It's also unfortunate.
Probably guessing that it might be either something that they could opt to go back to later because they're probably not confident in their place that it might be bombs or something else that could help them.
We got high jump in Sector 1. That's a nice find. That'll let them go back for that major later on much more easily.
Definitely. Wall jump also significantly makes this room a little bit easier to climb.
So unfortunately, Dice is gonna have to farm up a bit before they're able to get through. Oh, okay, just farm up once for the Idor. That's pretty lucky because you're not guaranteed to get missiles from those Hornodes. This is a pretty decent. It might be 50-50 for health or ammo there. I'm not entirely sure exactly how the drop system works, but. Although one nice thing about the drop system is if you are full on health, the X will always refill ammo instead.
Charge coax having bombs. Which means Dice could easily check more Sector 2 than Kaede starts to trip into it.
Got a major behind the charge beam with the crabs. Got a charge beam behind the charge beam core with the crabs.
Almost near vanilla. It's definitely close, just not that quite close.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the rando community in the biz calls the vanilla, or the French vanilla. Should ask Herc about vanilla sometime. He's a big proponent of vanilla extract and whatnot.
Kaede making their way to their high jump.
So Dice is going to be going on into Sector 2. I wonder... I'm sure Katie will want that major item in Sector 2 as well.
Yeah, definitely. When they definitely find bombs, they're more than likely try to head back to check more spots in 2. Especially if they go to lower Sector 2, they definitely have the means of getting out of there now. Now that they got high jump in Sector 1. Nice, making it to the cargo room.
Speed, that would have been nice.
Yep. Definitely has the ability to unlock over 2 doors and opt to skip 1 entirely. But they kinda can't because you need to activate level 1 anyway, so... Doing a neat little wall trick, wall jump trick. So Dice is going to check this one room that Kaede can check due to not having bombs. Having high jump definitely helps, because in this game high jump and spring ball are mixed together in this one.
Oh wow. Okay, there's the wave beam. Now I could interchange them and I'll be right either way. Nice.
Kaede making her way out of Sector 1. Likely hoping to either go back to 2 or likely checking Sectors 3 or 4. Though can't really do much in 3 without speed boosted.
Okay, there's ice missiles for Dice. I'm slightly surprised he didn't just continue on to Zazabi while he was there. It doesn't make a huge difference in terms of fighting it. If you get many more upgrades, because at least the first few sections of Zazabi are actually based on number of hits rather than damage.
Kaede getting their speed boosted. Likely they may not ought to check in more beyond Sector 2 now that they
Dang.
Oh no, they're checking more, just to be safe. Oh!
This early game is loaded. That's
Wow.
charge and plasma. We don't have to worry about plasma hunt today.
Yeah, it's
Just a
another
gravity hunt.
Picking up wave 3 on Kaede's end. Kaede opting to fully go down this route as opposed to Dice who went through the vanilla method of getting to lower sector 2. Due to having high jump, they can't really make the checks with the room full of rippers, but can still easily check above Oasis. Bossify 1 is going to check the very same item, almost back to back.
Yeah, so is that Ripper's room just requiring power bombs then? Is that the trigger for the cook? Or is there a different trigger for cocoons? I forget.
It's a different trigger. I think you're thinking of the
Space
one
jump?
on the main deck for
Yeah.
sector 2, it's base jump plus plasma beam.
Okay.
Kaede opting to grab the E-Tank, whereas Dice decided to turn back.
Yeah, Dice really wanted to cut corners. I don't blame them. Boss fights take a long time, and they're just longer checks, basically. And you just don't want to check the longer checks in randomizers.
Definitely, especially when you're almost near go mode.
You can absolutely bite them, but it hasn't yet. Especially getting so many items in Sector 2 as well. We'll just get a powerbomb tank on Sazabi.
You hate to see it.
Dice thinking about his decision carefully, opting for Sector 4 next.
Yeah, there's definitely no wrong means of routing. It's mostly just trial and error. Because you don't know if one major will be here in one instance, while this major item could be in another sector in another instance. Nothing in the electrified water room. Was a check nonetheless.
Katie not going up through the left of Sector 2. It's surprising. It's unfortunate. That's where plasma was, so this could be an issue.
Truthfully, they can still access it. They just think that going back the way they came is a better route than trying to climb back up through a maze filled with bombs.
There's 2 items up that way. They could springball to hit the bomb blocks above. Well, actually, no. No, I guess they can't. They would need screw attack or power bombs to get up that way, now that I think about it.
Interestingly, that Kaede sped through that cocooned enemy. Collision is a feature. It's merely a suggestion.
There's that plasma beam. Yeah, to come up through this room, I believe there's a section where you jump off of a destructible block to get that block on the bottom of the screen there, and that's unfortunately a bit too high for Spring Ball, I believe.
And now that plasma has been obtained, these cocoons somehow instantly hatched into key hunters. Evolution in the blink of an eye, folks. Both one is having quite a different amount of E-tanks. It's definitely up to the ones to pick up how many energy tanks they would like, depending on how comfortable they are.
Mm-hmm.
Although, almost everywhere else but this one room has key hunters, so much to Kaederukaw4's dismay,
Wow.
they can't really check it.
Got another major right under the pump controls with Varia suit. That's a nice find.
So that makes them much more comfortable to check Sector 3 without having to deal with heat rooms.
Ooh, and Katie gets stingered by the key hunters. Thankfully, they have 8 E-tanks. Those key hunters, I know at least with Varia it does 137 damage. Without Varia, I'm not sure. It must do more.
Kaederukaw4 also opted to check 4 before going to 3. Which is not that bad of an idea. DYCE has definitely found some items that Kaederukaw4 would definitely like to find right about now.
Enemy damage, by the way, is kind of weird in this game. It's, I believe each enemy has a different damage table depending on each suit you receive. So I think like running into an eye door does like 10, 9, and 8 damage respectively or something like that. Whereas the beam does like, I don't know, 50 and like 40 or something. I forget exactly, but it's not necessarily a linear increase in sustainability.
Kaederukaw4 opted to get the exit room where one would normally leave Ceres. It's definitely 2 less checks on their end to hopefully pray that a major might be there. DYCE taking advantage of the message box, freezing everything else but bombs. Kaederukaw4 acquiring Varia suit.
So I think they're both going to be avoiding the bulk of Sector 1 for the rest of the game. On Kaidi's end, it's probably partly because of how they routed the beginning. They had to double dip Sector 2 to get Speed Booster in the first place, so they don't want to double dip 1 and kind of like, in case their opponent had gotten that Speed Boost early, they just are counting on nothing being in Sector 1. And on DYCE's side, he just wants to skip as much as he can. So it's not really going to hurt either one of them.
Nothing hurts definitely having too many options open before the amount of spots you have narrows down significantly fast before you could figure out where in the world is this next progression item.
I always thought it was cool how you could get to these items early with just like ice missiles, and then there's just like no reason to do so in vanilla. It's disappointing, but now in Rando it's a significant, somewhat significant factor. There are a lot of items like that in this game.
Ooh, Bob being a super missile this time.
Very nice.
Dice almost has every missile upgrade. Ooh!
Oh wow. Now KD can speed boost underwater as well.
Definitely.
That's one boss that's gonna burn dice today. That's unfortunate for him.
Definitely.
KD not checking this. Did Kitty already check that missile? I don't think they did they? That second missile in the previous room?
I think they probably were betting that it must be just a minor end, nothing more.
I guess, but it's just like 2 bomb chains in a shot to look at.
Either way, Kaede is definitely almost in gun mode. They just need to find either a screw bag or diffusion missiles to safely escape lower sector 4.
If we were to tell DICE later that gravity was on one of the bosses, they might be like, which one was it, Arachnus?
That would be quite of a head start if that was the case.
Right?
But then again, this is a randomizer that's just spawning out, so it's definitely possible.
Yeah, it often pays to be thorough, but sometimes it does cost quite a bit of time. So gravity partially has varia effects. You won't take damage in lava, for example, but it doesn't completely replace it. You still do get damaged by the Ice X in Sector 6, as well as something else.
SAX is Ice Beam.
Yes, thank you. You do get frozen by the Ice Beam from SAX and the core.
Right, heading into Sector 6. Okay, they just ran into Sector 3 and unlocked over 2s and probably making their way to 5.
Nice. And yeah, it does protect from heat damage as well. So I wonder if that's going to be changing in future versions. I kind of hope so. I like the heck runs in Randos.
It's just saying that there's not many damage ones in Fusion to begin with.
Well, there are several short ones. There are a few in Sector 3. There's one particularly long one in Sector 3, and like going down into the lava for a power bomb thing. Speaking of power bombs, that's a power bomb data in Sector 2.
6, not 2.
6 in Sector 6.
Oh, there's diffusions. Kaede definitely has a secured scout through lower sector 4 now. Man, I don't think we've gotten go mode this early, and particularly quite this quick.
Wow.
And we're only like half an hour in. Despite the diversions, it really seemed to pay off in Kaede's routing. Ooh, barely just getting the power box cleared out.
This has been an incredible jet seed for Kaede.
Probably the quickest one so far in the tournament. Dice having no choice but to fight Mega Corex due to having no requirement to fight it. And Corex yielding nothing favorable for Dice.
Yeah, it's the wrong boss dice, sorry. Alright, that's a nice find. Space jump in Sector 6 as well.
Not bad of a find, honestly. Definitely can make traveling a bit more faster for Dice, especially through this room. No more climbing up ladders.
You just have to hope Dice doesn't find Screw Attack, because that'll open up a lot more checks as well. Some pretty long checks in Sector 6.
On the other hand, though, it definitely gives us a way out of lower sector 4 if we can't find diffusers.
He's gonna need to find that the speed booster first, though. Sorry, gravity seed, not speed. They have speed. I was just thinking, wow, Ceres with vanilla speed. Wait, no, it wasn't.
To be fair, speed was rather early in the siege, so... and we only recently knew what gravity was and what Ceres had.
That's more of a chocolate Ceres prize.
Dice heading up to main deck to scout out further options.
And Kaede heading up to the main deck to finish the game.
And making a safety safe to boot.
Yeah, this can definitely happen in these kinds of randomizers. Sometimes you just gotta go to where the items are. Dice heading over to the petting zoo.
And no major red animals. screen do extra damage to SCX?
It, like, not specifically, but it does do more damage in general as a beam. And also, I don't know if they have supers, but like each upgrade to beams or supers does increase the damage of those, respectively.
So far, DICE is the only one who has acquired supers Kaede onto to scale to such an extent entirely.
Not entirely sure how the beams damage stacks up, but at least for missiles, each upgrade adds a specific amount to your maximum damage output. So Ice Beam will add 10 damage, and Supers will add 20 damage, Diffusion will add 5 damage. Whereas missiles are just a normal 10 damage. Little does Dice suspect his gravity suit is underwater.
No family, he's avoiding bosses up to now, so he's hoping one of the other bosses has the thing he needs to finally win the game. Which we know that we just give it to them.
And honestly, who expects a jet seat, to be fair?
Yeah.
It's been so rare in this tournament so far. And finishing the time 37:26.
That is game for Kaede.
And that's a missile for Dice. I would imagine Dice probably isn't even looking at their race chat right now. They're just not expecting anyone to finish quite yet.
Definitely. Especially when Kaede made the smart move of checking service.
And welcome, Kaidi. That was a... what a seed.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't expect this jet suit. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Dice, you were mostly making the same plays, except for the start. Dice did go to Sector 1 first, and did wind up being able to get that speed booster in Sector 2 on the first trip. How'd you feel about having to go back there?
Yeah, so in this seat, I guess it was a little bit better to go Sector 1, but I don't know, I wanted to open blue doors and then Sector 1 because I wanted to secure that Sector 4. I don't know, I wanted to gamble on Sector 4 after doing Sector 2 and it worked.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one thing you could have done differently is you could have frozen the Kago like when it was extended, and you could have frozen one of the bugs as well to jump up onto it to get to the speed boost earlier. Because you got ice missiles in Sector 2, right?
Did I? I can't
It
remember
was
right now.
ice,
I
ice
don't know.
something.
If I had ice in that moment,
You
I probably forgot about that.
Yeah, that's definitely what was going on. Probably forgetting that getting ice so early. Probably just forgot that such a route was possible.
Yeah, what happened to Dice was basically they were getting so many items early on that they just started skipping boss after boss after boss, and it worked out, skipping Arachnus and Zazabi. And then they skipped Ceres as well. And Ceres wound up having gravity.
Oh, I had ice missiles. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot about that. Fortunately, it did not hurt me a lot in the seat. So
Definitely.
anyways, I was planning to go back to Sector 2. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe if there was a major in the lava room in Sector 1, that would have punished me a lot, but I don't know.
Yeah, it might have
It was a
actually
big
worked out for
mistake,
you
for sure.
to
It
have
was a
to go back
mistake.
to. If you did get Speed Booster, would you have gone back to Sector 2? Like right away?
I don't know. Maybe Sector 4 first in that situation. I don't like that much Sector 2. It's really slow, and compared to Sector 4, Sector 4 has more items there, so
Definitely.
I think it's a better option.
Yeah, this could have been quite a bit different if you had gotten that Speed Booster and just abandoned that Plasma Beam until much later on. It's kind of
Maybe
funny.
I would have gone to Sector 3 and level 2 doors there, so that helped a lot. I don't know, I got lucky there, I got lucky.
Dice finding where screw attack is.
So Screw Attack is down in Sector 5, down next to the level 3 unlock.
Behind power bombs. Okay.
If they see the race chat, they might know at least there's no way that's required. This is way too fast to finish to come all the way here for Screw Attack.
Definitely.
I don't know, I'm surprised with this result. I mean, I'm not a good player of this game, but yeah, this shit helped out with the route I did.
Yeah, well, you know, speedrunning is very, very different from randomizers. Like, you can lose minutes from execution in speedruns, and like you could still lose that time in randomizers, but it makes so much bigger a difference routing the game and just knowing, just having a good gut feeling on where to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially routing in most of the randomizers is really, really important, as you said. For example, my sex fight is really bad. I don't know how to do the quick kill yet, so that's an example.
It's pretty tight timing, but it does cut down the necessary hits significantly. Because you have to R-shoot your shots like almost as soon as they're fully charged, like within frames.
I tried once, but I missed it, so just keep it simple at that point.
You just gotta keep trying and get better at it.
Yeah, also.
Oh, there's Ice Beam.
conveniently hidden away in Sector 5.
I got lucky too with that diffuser, but I was aiming for a secret message with only
Ah,
ice
nice.
missile, so that helped a lot, saving some time.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a hard one that you can mess up like several times if you're good at it.
Yeah,
Another
even
major.
being good at that, that's difficult to do.
Right, I forgot this is Diffusion Dice is getting now.
Yeah.
Or less location. Wow.
They have
Every
almost
single
everything
match,
except gravity.
most of the time there's nothing in series.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but thankfully Ceres had something incredibly,
Yeah.
incredibly helpful. And
Yeah.
Dice not opting to fight bosses definitely hurt him this round.
Yeah, there was one item below the pump controls in Sector 4 that probably is what put Dice off of doing Ceres. Although fighting Ceres is a fairly quick way to check the right side items. There's 3 items that way.
Yeah, I mean, if you are there in the pump control, you should go. If you didn't do the right side, and the other check that you have to go around. I will
Okay.
see the second game. I'm expecting to lose at least one game.
Anything can happen, yeah. And on top of that, we got so many matches lined up. We got so many races to do for this tournament. There are best of 3 matches, double elimination bracket. So that, like, each racer will be playing at least 4 games this tournament. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, we have the second game in an hour or so.
Mhm.
After this one, so
Mhm.
I'm expecting a really slow season. We'll see.
Probably. Yeah, well, feel free to stick around while I guess Dice is going to be finishing this up. I don't know if they have the race chat open when they're racing or not.
This is a back-to-back match. So we thankfully don't have to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, players aren't really required to have the race time chat open. They don't necessarily have to know if their opponent finished or not. For some people, it just adds more pressure to be looking at it over and over. Just varies from person to person. And oof, Dice going down to Ridley's area.
They have the means of getting out, thankfully, so they're not permanently stuck down here and being forced to reset.
Well, even still, I wonder if they did save, because it may be worth resetting if they don't find anything here.
Yeah. Because you and me definitely know where gravity is, and know that really, or this area in particular, may not have anything that's worth.
Oh no.
Ooh, grab the 1x.
So kind of tricky. Some of the rooms in this game require you to not absorb the X that come out of the
and
enemies.
especially a red parasite. I imagine that would be tempting for anybody else.
It's kind of weird how that works. Some doors are triggered by killing golden enemies, and some of those rooms have no golden enemies until you let X form into one from killing other enemies.
Yeah, it's not a very frequently used mechanic, but in the rare instances, it definitely does provide an obstacle.
Where to next, Dice? Is it Sector 4? It's Sector 4, right? I'm gonna be getting this power bomb check underneath the charge core underwater. But after that, Sector 4, surely. Oh, vanilla power bomb.
Oh yeah, the speed boost item in Charge Core X's room. That is also an item. This last major item couldn't be in Crumble City because we're quite aware of where it is specifically, and it's
Unfortunately, he doesn't know that.
yeah.
So Crumble City is probably the next logical check. But after that, surely Sector 4, it's right next to there.
If he has more than one check, he should go. Well, I'm expecting him to go there. If you only have series, I don't know.
I think he just has... I don't remember if he... I think he might have gone all the way to the E-Tank, I'm not sure. Oh, one thing I think when you went through Ceres, you skipped the second missile in the room afterwards. Was that
I
like
was
a...
in go mode there. I
Right,
had dice
okay.
missiles, so yes, that's a little bit slow compared to the Sector 5 check I did, I think.
Yeah, you got 2
I don't
items in
know
Sector
exactly.
5, so that was pretty quick.
Yeah. It was
Anyways,
much definite time saver.
Wow, I'm feeling so dumb about that early game ice missiles. Wow.
Yeah, it's funny how like making oversights can absolutely play in a player's favor in randomizers. I saw a Link to the Past Super Metroid combo rando match where co-op match where both players said they're gonna get book and go check Ether Tablet, and then they went all the way up to Hera and then realized, oh, I forgot to actually get book. Whoops. And like both of them did that, and they're like, well, crap. So one of them eventually just had to go for that book and go all the way back to Ether Tablet, and it was nothing, but it gave him an excuse to check Spike Cave, which was right next to it, and it wound up having their go mode. So and found that way before their opponents.
Yeah, definitely.
Because there was
Just go
no
to-
better time to. There was no other reasonable time to go check Spike Cave.
Yeah, it just
Yeah,
goes
that
to show
happens
that
a lot.
just goes to show that in randomizers anything could really possibly go, even being like almost half an hour in or very late into a seed.
You leave mid chain and then you come back with a mirror and do north out and then you go mode because
Yeah.
randomizer. We know what we're playing when we enter this
Yeah.
tournament. We came here to gamble, so it is what it is.
Wrong boss. Well, he doesn't know that he's fighting the wrong boss. For all he knows, he definitely could be thinking, this boss might have my progression, I should probably check.
I just worry, a pretty dense area he could go for next is the Nightmare area, which doesn't necessarily require Gravity Suit to go in there.
Yeah, but he'll more than definitely be soft locked there due to not having gravity.
Yeah, servant, that's because randomizer.
Yeah, routing
It
is
randoed.
routing is particularly a thing that it could certainly be up to just how lucky one finds which items and in which order.
Yeah, even with a good route, you will probably lose because you need luck more than route, I think. And that's my opinion. So that's how I.
Yeah. It depends. Like it varies from rando to rando. Like Link to the Past, it's really surprising. Oh, you'll see the same players like winning over and over and over, and it's wild because of how random it is. You would think there would be like a totally different, like they would get wildly different results in big races. Like they might be first one race, last another race, but they're pretty consistently up there. And there's just something about the way they route that's just real special.
Definitely.
Yeah, and decision making. For example, leaving a check or I don't know, something like that.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely some routing that goes into Fusion Rando, and it's a pretty early randomizer, so things could change a lot. There could be a new meta developing over the years that could just consistently get players finishing fast, but we just don't know yet, maybe. But it does seem a bit more random, a bit more RNG heavy.
Yeah.
The big benefit is that there are so many items required in this game versus something like Zero Mission, where there's like 3 requirements.
Yeah, you get plasma, you get a couple more items, and you're done.
Yeah, and in Zero Mission, you could have a specific setting to just go into the last area of the game without, I think, pretty much without, if you have PBs,
Just power bombs, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, early power bombs and no plasma required. Well,
yeah, then
maybe plasma required helps for the 2 pirates at the end, but
yeah, basically Zero Mission has a lot more differing stuff that could make your mode either easier or just having to go through the game and killing Mother Brain in order to access the last area.
I guess realistically, it's probably more like 5 items for Zero Mission, to be fair. You do need missiles and power bombs and plasma beam. And
Speed booster. Maybe.
Bombs would probably replace that.
Yeah, if you have power bombs, you probably don't need speed booster.
What? Yeah. Speaking of power bombs, Dice gets the wrong boss check again.
There was definitely not many spots left for Dice to really check. And due to not having level 4s, it's narrowing down quite quickly. What would be cool for this is having an area rando and boss rando together with the logic scheme. I would probably see that as something like happening way in the future, and not something that has to be done right away. Because moves in this game are more designed for bosses in mind, and Ridley in Araxis' room does not seem to go well. You would have to massively change all the rooms to fit any size of potential bosses.
Oh no.
Man,
Maybe he's going to Sector 5 to go through the shortcut to Sector 6 to go to the shortcut to Sector 4.
Oh wait.
Yep.
Oh,
nope, he's
oh.
back to
no.
1.
Sector 3.
He was debating.
You were talking a couple minutes ago about the required items and the random, and I didn't know when we played this second qualifier that you need high jump or space jump to finish the game.
Oh no.
I didn't know that. And I was like, okay, I have all the combo items. What do I need? And I didn't know that. I lost like 10 minutes or so.
Does the sacks still spawn if you don't have those?
I had screw attack, so I thought that with the wall jump, CX will trigger, but no. You need high jump or space jump.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that's going to be added in probably the next version or something. That was mentioned at some point.
Yeah, so far, Kazuto, the creator of the Fusion Randomizer, has been a little bit busy due to real life stuff. So, well, probably not gonna likely see an update till after this whole tournament is over. There may be a chance it would come before, but definitely, if that were to happen, we would probably would still be using this one due to being so far into it already.
I also wonder if Speed Booster would be enough.
It is possible. You would have to.
Oh
just
yeah, you
go-
can. Sure. I
You'd have
didn't
to
know
go
that.
to the right of the elevator room, going up, and just go to the very left to gain enough speed boost all the way up once you get yourself into that position. But I imagine for something like that, that would be something like a difficulty 5 setting, and not something in a difficulty setting like 2.
Yeah, still, I feel like the boss should spawn if you can beat it and leave the room. It's just a matter of, like, you can't really beat the game until you go into the top door. So that's kind of a separate requirement in my thinking.
The one time we have a well-witty boss fight, and it's near the end of it. But in all fairness, a randomizer seed could definitely have gravity be on Ridley himself. And it has been done before. So I do not blame DICE whatsoever for thinking that Ridley could possibly have the last item he needs. Greatest nemesis in the game, and all he has are dust missile tanks. Why was it decided to have Ice Beam as normal pickup? Well, because normally Ice Beam is added towards the end to verify the fact that SCX had Ice Beam the whole time, and hence why you weren't able to download it, despite having Metroid DNA at the very beginning of the game.
Basically, the computer didn't want you to, or the Federation didn't want to give you Ice Beam, because they were afraid it would make you too powerful, because Ice Beam does so much damage ever.
Yeah,
I don't know, but they did fully program in like the effects of the Ice Beam for like everything throughout the game.
Yeah,
and just didn't put it in time, or just didn't put it in early enough to actually use it.
Yeah, hence why it's mostly the freezing effects mostly went unused in the actual final game. And during beta, during much more earlier generations of the randomizer, it was quite. Ice Beam did a lot of damage, so it was considerably nerfed when the beta finally came around.
Yeah, there was one conversation near the end of the game where they said they didn't want to give Ice Beam because they worried that Samus would become too powerful. They were pretty explicit about that.
It wasn't because of the Metroid backing?
Yeah,
they used that as an excuse, but they said later on, yeah, it's really just because
Wow.
they didn't want Samus to have it.
you know, despite having it in literally every other game beforehand. But Federation's got a Federation.
Such liars. I didn't know that.
Oh, sorry, was it diffusion missiles?
Yeah.
It was diffusion missiles that said that? Oh, my mistake.
Oh, it was a nice? Okay.
Yeah, Adam specifically requested that you get ice missiles due to SCX have an ice beam and Metroid DNA possibly rejecting the ice beam, but
Yeah, that's why I asked.
Federation won,
I was
so
surprised. Okay, okay.
Which I say yes, all of them. No, I don't. I don't think Adam specifically mentioned the powerful upgrade at the beginning of the game.
No, the thing that Adam says is that you can't unlock. You can go to the data room from Sector 4 because of the level 4 lock. So
Yeah.
you have to go level Sector 3 to unlock level 2. It was like that, I think.
Yeah, Nimano has the correct quote. It was, you need the super upgrade, but the data room here is a level 4 lock, and you can't open it because the lock is underwater, which where the players defeat Nightmare would find out and pretty much open on their own.
Oh, Samus lost the Metroid DNA. Just like it fell off, fell out of her pocket when she absorbed the SAX. That's unfortunate.
Oops, there goes the last Metroid DNA. Whoops.
Wait, this is in logic? For gravity being here?
It is, yeah.
It's possible, but
We
I
had
mean,
a
we
match
know where
earlier
it
where
is, but
Dice doesn't know where gravity is, and was just thinking Nightmare may have it fit enough.
also you have speed booster and you decide to go sector 1, that's in logic? Without having missiles and charging? Yeah, right?
yeah.
About the... You can do the Shine Spark.
Oh,
the
well,
first-
that's... I don't believe that's in logic, but it's,
Oh.
it's something you can do. I think it's like a higher level difficulty, I think.
Oh, I thought that was in logic, okay.
I think it's like level 3 logic or something like that. Is that right?
Level 3 and higher, I suppose. Like, you could definitely do it in difficulty 2 if you're good enough, but it's, as stated, it's not in logic to do.
Yeah, we see a lot of players doing it anyway. Because, like, as people say, as Azure is known for saying, logic is really important for routing, but in terms of actual playing, eh.
Ooh. It looks like that's a forfeit from Dice. Hmm.
Damn, that hurts.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely
Maybe
check.
he forgot about Ceres, or he
He-
played like, okay, I skipped Ceres, so I won't go.
Possibly. We're about to find out. If he joins in here.
He'll be with us momentarily. Just notice the in-game time from 27. And welcome,
Hello,
Dice. GG's.
GG. Good race.
Hello, GG's.
Okay, but I gotta know, where was Gravity?
Ceres.
Ceres.
Oh my goodness, I fought myself on fighting that guy so many times.
Yeah, we saw you skipping bosses early on. I figured it was because you were finding so many items nearby the bosses that they just didn't seem worth your time. Is that kind of what was on your mind, or did you have other things?
No, that's pretty much it. And I mostly try to avoid bosses when I can, just because they take up so much time anyway.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, that was a tough one because that wound up being a jet seed with a Kaidi finishing 37-26, sub 30 in game time. It's
Well, I hope
That's-
everybody had fun watching Yakuza and Ridley and whoever else.
yeah, everything else.
Everything else except the one boss.
Well, I was going. I was just like, all right, forget it. I'm gonna fight all the bosses, and then I saw how much time has passed, so I'd check to see on the race screen if anybody else had finished, and right then I just forfeited.
Makes sense. Yeah, I figured
Yeah.
you probably didn't have the race time chat open. A lot of players just don't want the pressure of having that timer in their face.
Yeah, you can find yourself looking at that more than you're watching the screen.
Mhm.
Yeah. And also, depending on how far back you saved, it probably wouldn't have been a good idea to reset right then and there due to losing so much time just trying to get back up.
Yeah, I'm weird. I usually don't reset unless it's a full soft lock, which maybe I should reset if it's going to take me forever to get back someplace.
So early on, you two diverged. Kaidi went to sector 2 first and got the ice missiles. Didn't quite register at the time, and continued on to sector 1 after that, and then had to go back for speed booster later. But after that, pretty much, you two were just following each other throughout the station. But Kaidi was more thorough in Sector 4, as you can imagine.
Yeah, I did everything but Sarah's. Go figure.
Randomizer got a randomizer.
That's right. It's anybody's game.
This won't happen in the second game, so don't worry about that.
Well, you don't know that for sure. Anything could still happen. One could possibly be a little worse or a little bit better, depending on how the ones are still feeling at that point in time.
Yeah,
I
so
will see.
you all going to be taking a bit of a break, or are you going right into it, or how are you guys feeling?
I'll leave it to Dice. So he stopped playing right now. You decide.
Well, I'll be honest. The end of that seed did tilt me a little bit. Just 5-10 minutes. Let me get some water and recenter.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right, so we'll see you guys then, and everyone get comfy, take a bit of break, get up and stretch, and we'll have some more fusion action coming right your way.
Definitely.
Well, so Jagger, I have a question for you then. Well,
Hey,
you are set up to commentate on not this next race coming
SG4,
up
yeah.
on- Exactly. So we won't be. We certainly won't be able to fit in another jet seed. I hope. I guess.
Yeah, probably not. Frankly.
Yeah, I'm guessing. You'll probably jump off.
Yeah, you
and
hopping
then
in
get ready
to
for-
fill in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
will.
hopping to fill in.
Sweet.
Yeah, I will also be setting up. Let's see, Mini John's and Kaz's seed. Oh, that should be a good race as well. Yeah, I'll set up their race room as well when they are ready in 35-40 minutes or so. We are, or at least I am, ready to get this next race underway when all the racers are ready to go as well.
Cool. All right,
Fine.
y'all have luck and good fun.
Have fun on the other side.
Thanks. Catch you guys later.
Later. I myself will be taking a quick break, but I will be back soon.
Okay.